Hello everyone, I'm Maria Petrashko, News Agency. Perhaps no elections in the world concern representatives of the collective West as much as the presidential elections in Russia and Belarus. I'm serious. Even their own elections are not discussed so actively by Western politicians. Life in Russia is ongoing without any democratic upheavals. Unlike Lithuania, Mr. Landsberg states that no nation is oppressed in Russia. Shake Russophobia, witch hunt through democratic sieve, or what? By the way, Landsbergis is not an original source. He criticizes Belarusian elections, pleads for sanctions, inform him that he is the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. His task is to build diplomatic relations, not to quarrel with neighbors. German President Steinmeier will not send congratulations to Putin on his election victory, said the press secretary of the head of the FRG. Has anyone ever heard Steinmeier make a statement that is not about Russia? Is he doing something else at all? And it's strange why German politicians didn't notice the fraud in the US elections when Biden, with the help of mail-in voting, received a very questionable sharp increase in votes when it became known that deceased Americans voted for Biden. How is it possible that Western officials love Russia so much that they don't even notice their own problems, just like when you think about Russia? And how not to think about her? You are a golden person. Elections? What elections? Latvia's president may not know that in typical countries, presidents are elected by people, not appointed by Washington, as in Latvia. Well, okay. Of course, Western propagandists could not pass by the new regions of Russia. These are old familiar motifs, like how they supposedly made everyone vote under the Ark of Machines. In the regions of Ukraine occupied and illegally annexed by Russia, observers have reported how local authorities forced people at gunpoint to participate in the elections. France does not recognize and will never recognize the conduct of the result of these so-called elections. Undoubtedly, Western propaganda has seasoned everything with tales of the absence of alternative candidates and reportedly forcing budget employees to vote against their will. The old song has been sung many times already at the Belarusian elections. Well, guys, come up with something new. The elections are not legitimate, as there were no genuine alternative candidates, no free mass media, and no trustworthy observers. Civil society was silenced. In Estonia, propagandists completely forgot about all the principles of journalism and started making accusations against residents who voted for Putin.
Why does it surprise you so much? Well, I don't know. He has been in power for 25 years, longer than Brezhnev. Isn't it enough? A person is actually judged by his actions.
Your opinion on the behavior of the journalist from the Estonian newspaper Postimees Stalin? We've heard this before. Just like in the presidential elections in Belarus, they probably just changed the names of countries there. Either Russia or Belarus, so it's becoming increasingly difficult to blame us for your political mistakes. Residents of Europe are starting to suspect something. World leaders, whom Le Figaro calls dictators, congratulate the Kremlin's owner on his victory in the elections. Readers of the publication condemned the West for interfering in the politics of another country. Quote, "Stop constantly criticizing everything happening in Russia." The people re-elected Putin, period, writes one of the commentators. So billions of dollars from Western funds burned on mindless propaganda and Russophobic politics for nothing? And these are the money of ordinary European and American taxpayers. And here is the reaction of non-Western media, whose economy is not developing due to energy and economic crises, but for some reason they are silent about the seriousness of the situation. And here is the reaction of the media in countries where trade flourishes and the economy is developing. For instance, the Middle East. LA News has been monitoring the sentiments of Russian voters for a period of 3 days. All Russians unanimously made the decision that Russian President Vladimir Putin will have to continue serving as the head of state until the year 2030, as there is no alternative to him. Almayadin's special operations sanctions ensured Putin's support among the Russian population. Vladimir Putin won the elections, and Russia, the ideological war of the West. During this election weekend, out of curiosity, I visited Moscow and went to the exhibition Forum Russia at VDNH. So, the endless crowds of visitors and their admiring looks were the best confirmation of the confidence of Russians in the chosen course. I was not surprised by the record-breaking turnout or the outcome of the election after my visit to VDNH and Moscow over the weekend. Liberal propaganda can pour water as much as it wants, and the same will occur during the presidential campaign in Belarus in 2025. All accounts of alleged intimidation of budget employees and alleged falsifications, but facts are stubborn things that cannot be ignored. And the best confirmation of the trust of the population and the correctness of the political course. Numbers. Even more diverse reviews in our Telegram channels.